it up with a question from Eric Walden. Eric, go for it.
Donovan, nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you.
So I guess I'll just start off with the obvious one that Jazz fans are wanting to know about, and people just want to know how's the relationship between you and Rudy.
Yeah, I'll kind of address this one just for everybody and kind of just leave it after this. To be honest with you, I understand that y'all got to ask this question, but right now we're good. We're going out there ready to hoop, and I think the biggest thing that kind of sucked was that it took away from the guys on the team. Took it to what the guys on the team were trying to do, and I really wish that as going forward, I think that'll be really the primary focus is just us gelling as a team, because obviously Rudy and I had COVID and whatever happened, but now we're ready to hoop and focus on the team as a whole, because we're not really trying to keep taking attention away from what everybody's got going on. Obviously we got Bojan out, so we have some guys that are really looking good and ready to step up, and that's what we're really excited about.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Next question we will get from Tony Jones. Tony? We can't hear you, Tony.
Come on, Tom. Just click the unmute button.
My bad. I forgot to unmute. How you doing? First of all, second of all, what are some of the things that you did with your time off, basketball wise, just staying in shape, staying sharp, and just kind of working on your craft?
It was tough, to be honest with you. It was tough to kind of, because I really didn't have much. I was in the basement of my mom's house for most of the time, but really doing a lot of sprints. I think it took about maybe 3 weeks off. And I think for after that, I just kind of got into the weights. We continued did weights with the team via Zoom, but did a lot of sprints on the field right down the street from my house. A lot of bike exercises, as much as I could conditioning wise. Understanding I couldn't get onto a court for a very long time, and I've been fortunate enough to have a court, and kind of get after for the past month and a half, 2 months. So that's really what I've been at. Just continue to refine my game and work on what I can. Obviously with really no rebounder and really no help, it's kind of like being in the park by yourself. But it's been weird. It's been challenging. Even got to shooting in my backyard on concrete. That's really what it came down to, just because the resources that I had, I didn't really have much. But now that we're back, we're glad to be back in market and kind of just get right to it and just continue to pick up where we left off.
Okay. Thanks, Donovan. Next question will be from Sarah Todd. Sarah?
Hey, Don. How's it going?
How you doing?
Good. I have a couple of questions. They're related to each other. The first one being, I just want to get your feelings and thoughts about kind of what happened after the Utah Jazz Black Lives Matter post and then your Juneteenth post, and kind of your feelings around that situation and how you feel your approach moving forward should be, or anything, your thoughts. And then tailing off that, what your approach will be in Orlando to kind of try to keep the conversation going around racial inequality and reform and things like that.
I'll start off with the first one. I think it opened a lot of eyes, to be honest with you, when that post came out and the comments and stuff. And it's easy for people to say, don't read them. It's tough when there's outrageous and crazy, and then you click on the see, and it's not like they're bots, as people call them. They're people who live not only here, but in different places. And I spoke out about it, especially primarily here, because I live here. I play here. I represent, us as 15 guys represent the Jazz as far as the Utah, as far as basketball is concerned. And we understand that it's not just basketball, that we use our platform not just for what we do on the court, but what we do off the floor. Myself, Mike, JC went protesting. So many different guys on our team have done so many different things. And I think to see that, after understanding that the same people that were saying what they were saying were the same ones coming to celebrate and cheer. And I think that's really where I was just, I'm not gonna lie to you, pretty pissed off. And it's kind of like, man, for my career, I speak for myself when I say this, for the past two, 3 years, I gave it all. And then, you see that, and it's tough to see that as an African-American male, because not only just what happens in Utah, and I understand it's not just a Utah thing. And I want people to understand that it's not like it's just Utah. It happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. But, like I said, I spoke out on it, especially because I play here and I live here. And I want it to be known that I'm going to continue to use my platform, continue to use my voice that I have, because I feel like that's what's necessary. And I think a lot of people don't understand certain situations that I've been brought up in, that, Royce has been brought up in, Mike, JC, Emmanuel, Rudy. Like, there's so many different backgrounds, and guys come from different backgrounds. I think people, not only just in Utah, but everyone, need to understand that, the experiences that we have can be completely different. And hopefully this conversation opens a lot of eyes, especially here in Utah, because, there's a certain stigma. There's no secret about it, about Utah. And, obviously the comments didn't help, but, for us as athletes, we want it to be known that we won't stand for any of the racism and what else comes with that. I think that's the biggest thing for my comments and reading and responding to what we responded to. And then, sorry, the second part of your question.
How do you keep the conversation going in Orlando?
I think we do it. I think we do it in many different ways. To be honest with you, I think, we're doing a great job. I think the PA and the league has done a great job of understanding, putting the Black Lives Matter on the court, and that way it's at least aware. It's always on people's minds. It's going to be right there, But I think the one thing that does that is unfortunate is that we can't be there on the front lines anymore, helping out, at least the teams that are in the bubble. So we have to do it, not just as players, but as a league, we have to really make a statement. We're working on a bunch of things that I can't really say right now, but I think there's a lot of things that are going to come out of us being down there in that bubble. But, I do wish, to be honest with you, I do wish that we were able to be there on the front lines as opposed to being in that bubble. That's my personal opinion, because I think that's just something that really needs attention, as opposed to, people talking about who had 30 or 40 or who won this game. It should be about Breonna Taylor. It should be about so many other different things that are going on in the world right now that should be really brought attention to. But with that being said, work calls and duty calls, and we have to go, and we'll go down there and continue to use that platform that we have down there, partnered with different teams, different guys in the league, and then our league as well, to go out there and make the most of it and go out there and continue to, spread the message and spread all of the knowledge that a lot of guys in this league have. A lot of guys 1 through 15, whether it's LeBron, Steph, Curry, or the 15th man on the roster, it doesn't matter who it is. Guys have voices, and I think we're going to do a great job when we go down there to have guys 1 through 15, let their voices be heard.
Thank you.
All right. Next question will be from Eric Woodyard. Eric?
What's up, man?
What up, Eve?
So for you, man, early on in your career, man, you've received so much positive attention, man, from coming out of nowhere from Louisville, doing everything you did. How has it been for you to deal with that side of it? I mean, now you're seeing the other side of professional basketball, from receiving negative attention to being in the middle of things. Has that shaped your opinion of being a professional, or what's your thoughts on just all you had to go through these last few months?
I make the joke. It's been a long few months for me. I can't lie to you. But I think the biggest thing, it allows you just a sense of maturity, allow you to grow and kind of, I think the biggest thing with this virus and, unfortunately it came to the death of George Floyd, it opened not just my eyes, but a lot of people's eyes in this country to a lot of different things. And I think it's allowed people to kind of just stop and sit back. As you know, like I've been going nonstop since I got into the league, whether it's you get in, you start playing the dunk contest, the playoffs, go to China, go to all the different places for Adidas, come back, play again, go back overseas, play with Team USA, and then another shoe tour. So I've been going nonstop, really. So now I think this time has allowed me really just to sit back and just watch. I'm asking questions from guys around the league, how they handle different things. And I think it's been a time for me to really just find myself in a way that, I never really found because I've been on the move for so long. So it's allowed me to kind of sit there and understand that, one, this is a business, and being a professional, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. And I knew that on the court especially, but off the court, like you said, there's so many different things. There's going to be things that are great. There's going to be things that kind of open your eyes and kind of make you sit back and just reevaluate and look at things. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me, and just being able to adapt to that without, kind of going crazy.
All right. Next question from Tim McMahon, AP Tim. I mean ESPN. Sorry.
I was going to say I changed jobs. Hey, Donovan. I respect you wanting to move on from the situation with Rudy. I hope you respect that we have a job to do as well. So I do have a couple of quick questions on that. The first, you're a smart, savvy guy. You understand the way the league works, the way media works, the way a situation like that is going to draw speculation. Why did you let that linger for the last 3+ months instead of addressing it, whether it's a tweet, Instagram, or doing some media?
Because I feel like, for me, it's no secret, Tim, that I wasn't happy at the beginning. I've said that publicly. There's no secret to that. So for me, it was like, I'm not going to continue addressing something that I, one, didn't feel was true. Obviously we had the article that came out with, what's his name? Shams, and everyone saw that. And I just, to be honest with you, and no disrespect to you guys, but it's like, I'm not trying to give things clicks that, just to have a story, and then I kind of go back and then it brings more like, what we know what it is internally as a team, and that should be it, and I think like that's part of what Eric asked that question, part of that maturity and growing up, because I could have easily went back and forth with whoever on Twitter and kind of addressed it, but I'm just like, you know what, like there's no need for that. My teammates and my coaches know how I feel, and I feel like that was a moment where I was just like, you know what, that's it, and I'm leaving it at that. And that's really how I felt. And on top of that, like I said, it really took away from like guys, like what guys were working on, because we talk about what we've been working on the past 2 months. And I feel like that's really been hijacked because of this whole thing. And, it's easy to kind of go out there and say something, but no, like I wanted my teammates to know this is how I feel. And there are moments where you're just tired of continuing to hear over and over again. I'm tired of addressing it, kind of going, no, that's not true, or no, this is not true, because then you find yourself all over Twitter trying to call out people for no reason. So I just left it and addressed it with my teammates.
Okay, and the other question I had, talking to people around your organization, talking to Rudy himself, acknowledged that there was some tension between you guys before, and the way it was described to me is kind of typical co-star 2 out of 10 on an NBA drama type of tension. Rudy acknowledged a lot of that was him complaining about, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. How would you describe that working relationship going, pre-pandemic, and how maybe did that tension impact the way you felt once you tested positive?
I mean, obviously you look at, and please don't quote me as comparing us to Shaq and Kobe and Penny and Shaq, you know what I mean? But like you look at all great or all duos or whatever it may be, for us, it's like, there's going to be tension. There's going to be back and forth. Obviously I feel like I should be right here. He should feel like he should be right there. But there's always going to happen. It happens on every team. Doesn't matter if they win championships or the last place team. It's always going to happen. So I feel like even in a work environment, you're not going to always get along or go out to eat or, hang out with, your teammates. So that's that. And then, sorry, the second part of your question.
Maybe how did that tension and the frustration that you might have been feeling towards Rudy impact the way that you felt when you did test positive, and kind of as you were processing that?
I consider that, Tim, 2 separate things. One is basketball, one is a working relationship, and the other one is life. I consider that separate. So yeah, I don't think that really had any carryover.
Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, we have one question left. That's all the time we have. So we're going to do a quick one from Andy Larson. Andy?
I bet. Hey, Donovan. So wanted to ask what went into your decision on whether or not to play, and kind of what you're considering as you decide whether or not to go into the bubble, basically.
The biggest thing for me is honestly, like I said, I didn't really have the resources during this time off. This isn't a typical time off where it's like the off season. It wasn't a vacation. I think for me, the biggest thing we're coming back is injury. Not having played for maybe like 120 days or something like that, and kind of just being at a complete halt, and then kind of going right into games that matter. You know, it's not like these 8 games are just like the preseason where you kind of sit out. These games matter. And I think that's my biggest concern. You know, obviously I'm different than other guys because some guys have had facilities. You know, Mike had a facility in his house. He's been able, Rudy, I think, has one as well. But, you know, I had my garage with my little dumbbells and a treadmill and a bike for the whole time. So that's really where my concern is, honestly, you know, and obviously it's no secret that, you know, that it's been out there that I said that I was really nervous about getting injured, and that's still the same case. You know, it hasn't changed. You know, for right now, like I said, if I do play, I'm ready to go. It's not like I'm behind the 8 ball or anything like that. But my biggest concern is the injury aspect. You know, and obviously there's contractual implications for myself as well. That's no secret as well. But that's my biggest concern because you go from sitting down really, you know, and obviously there's working out, but there's difference than playing 5-on-5, meaningful 5-on-5 games as opposed to playing, you know, in practice or whatever we have coming up.
Do you feel like the 3-week training camp is enough to you know, get back in shape?
We'll find out. I don't know. I mean, honestly, like I said, I've never really, no one's really ever done this before, except for guys maybe been through a lockout. But I don't know. We'll find out. But I know for me, just that's my biggest concern. And I've addressed that with my teammates and coaches and everyone. But that's one of my biggest fears for sure.
All right, that is our time. Thank you so much, Donovan. Good to see you. Good to see everybody else. We'll see you guys again if you're joining at 3 o'clock. Thanks so much.